Welcome to Policy on Demand's Week in Review. I'm Todd Metcalf. This week, some of you may have been wondering about that buzzing sound coming from the Senate office buildings. Well, the Finance Committee is busily working to craft a response to the one big beautiful bill the House passed last week. It remains unclear exactly how beautiful the Senate believes the House bill to be, but early signals suggest strong alignment on most of the tax relief included in the legislation. However, what is also clear is that the Senate is highly unlikely to accept the House product as is. Serious concerns have been expressed about the SALT relief provided, the depth of cuts to clean energy, and the short duration of some of the most important business policies like R&E expensing and bonus depreciation. Suffice to say, all eyes will remain on the Senate throughout the coming weeks to see what grows from the seed the House successfully sowed. In a striking development on the trade front, the Court of International Trade this week ruled that the president does not have, quote, unbounded authority to impose his reciprocal tariffs policy. It remains unclear when and how tariff collections imposed under the International Economic Powers Act will stop, but the ruling provides the administration 10 days to complete the process of ending them. Needless to say, the administration immediately made clear its intention to appeal a ruling that threatens to seriously undercut the president's efforts to reshape the global trade landscape through negotiated agreements. Only time will tell how this will ultimately play out, especially as this decision only relates to one of the trade powers the president has been granted. For now, however, the decision is clearly an unwelcome detour from the path the administration had hoped to cut. The most common question I heard this week is unsurprising. How will the Senate change the House-passed reconciliation bill? And that's a complicated question. On the one hand, the Senate rarely defers to the House and usually finds ways to, in its collective mind, improve on the House product. On the other, the Senate will have a hard time ignoring the fact that passage of the bill out of the House was a hard-fought, one-vote exercise. Accordingly, it will likely have to be a bit more caution than history might suggest in its adjustments to the legislation. Nevertheless, given the additional budget authority the Senate has, I would expect it to explore ways to expand the tax relief included in the House bill, as well as limiting in some ways the curbs the House imposed on the clean energy front. Beyond that, senators may seek ways to incorporate some reform elements into the bill, possibly affecting international taxation. As to timing, given the complexity of the issues involved in the legislation, I remain doubtful that they will achieve the goal of getting the bill to the president's desk by the 4th of July. Enactment before the August recess seems much more realistic. In the meantime, taxpayers should keep a close eye on Congress and the courts. As Congress works toward passing tax legislation, even though taxpayers cleared a few daunting hurdles in the House bill, the fact that it did not include as many revenue raisers as some may have expected does not mean that those options are completely off the table. Taxpayers need to keep their antennae tuned to the continuing negotiations to defend themselves against any unpleasant surprises as the legislative process continues. Beyond tax, businesses affected by cross-border trade will need to monitor ongoing judicial developments that may affect the president's trade authorities, as well as the administration's reactions to efforts to constrain its plans to reshape global trade. While the seeds of further economic growth have been sown by the House, with the political and regulatory atmosphere in Washington as variable as it is, the abundance of the harvest ahead remains very uncertain. Stay tuned.